After a while, like 2 years ago, they relaxed the workflow. They relaxed the workflow and process builder. Then last year, they relaxed the workflow rule. Now they are left with the approval process and flow. So if we are left with the approval process and flow, you must master majorly the flow. You don't really have much things to be doing with the approval process. Sadly, you will configure approval process in most cases because most of the approval process you will need would have been created by, previous administrators or developers or something. But flow, they will always ask you to, one way or the other, to do things, do stuff with flow, which is very important for us to master flow. And you don't just master, you master it so well that you become a flownatic. Flownatic simply means somebody that master the heart of flow, that really that flow understand flow so well that you can do so many configurations with flow. And don't let us get scared with flow. It's a very simple tool or Salesforce tool that we can all relate with. All what we need to do with the flow is that it's going to come in a kind of graphical form whereby it will connect one tool to another. If it has to do with screen flow, you can use the screen flow to actually configure things the way you use a object manager to create objects and give it field. That's the same way you can use flow to kind of screen flow to actually give all the necessary field names and everything that your end users can relate with. That can ask your end users. They call it screen flow in the sense that your end user will see it. They can whatever it has them to do, they will respond to it and do it. It doesn't run at the background, unlike auto launched flow, like auto launch trigger flow, maybe schedule flow, record create record flow, or the platform trigger flow, or those ones. They are all happening at the back end. Your end users might not even know that something like that is happening because your end users might kind of update a record immediately. Because they are updating a record, a flow with trigger behind. That is that one. But when it has to do with the screen flow, they will be able to see it on the screen, how it happened, how it works, whatever it's gonna ask them to do, they will do it. In most cases, it asks them to for some data whereby they can input those data into it and everything. And then before you know it, when they give all the necessary data, you can actually use the flow to ask your end users uh, to create a quick record, like a lead record, like an opportunity record, anything like that. And then you can, which is the one we're going to start with now, in form of our demonstration, whereby you can ask you can use the flow to create what we call a welcome message. The welcome message will be at the screen. On the screen, you create the screen flow to actually write a kind of welcome message. It can say, oh, welcome, Kola Oshibikon, um, enjoy your day. Or you can use it, you can make it dynamic more, whereby you can use a custom label. That's what we call custom label. That is a dynamic message whereby you configure it, that you can always change it every day to different messages, a kind of inspirational message. You can have display on the screen that when your end users they are logging in and landing on the application they are working with, maybe sales application or service application, different application they might be working with, is going to welcome them. Because if you make it an org-wide default kind of welcome message, all of them that have a kind of organizational wide default or a kind of the custom profile they have, allow them to relay with that particular application, to be able to deal with things with the application. Because depending on the kind of custom profile you have for your end users, it depends on the kind of object, the kind of application they will be having access to on the platform at the end of the day. As God we have it, we created a project object. The project objects that we created are the project tracker application. You know what happened? It's not all the end users in your company that will have access to it, because if the custom profile, if the kind of profile they have does not give that accessibility when you were creating the object or the application, they won't be able to access it. So for those ones that are kind of working on projects, application or project objects, if you just decide to say, okay, you want to welcome them with different messages to inspire them for them to be more innovative, for them to be more to be on fire, you want to put them on fire, you want to encourage them for the day, brighten their day anyway, you want them to shine bright on a daily basis. There's a way you can create screen flow that will always display a kind of message to your end users. And when you create any flow, that's what you do. You always create it. When you create it, you save it, you debug it. You debug it in the sense that before it goes to the front end, so that it doesn't mess up. You debug it to know, okay, this flow is working well. It has no error. If it has error, then you fix it. If you do it, you debug it again, you save it, you debug it again. It has error, you fix it. It has error, you fix it until it doesn't have any problem. Everything is okay with it. Then you can release it to be at the front end for your front end users, for them to relate with at the end of the day. These are kind of wonders, the kind of magic you can do with screen flow. And I tell you, by the time we start doing stuff with flow now, you're going to love it. And then I will encourage you, after this training, please, if you really want to be a Salesforce professional, I will try my best. God help me to lay a solid foundation for us in this flow aspect and approval process. All I will encourage you to do, just continue to build on it, become more professional. We can't finish everything about flow. We can't do in form of let's say case use case. We can't finish all the use case on flow. There are many hundred of use cases whereby that you have to apply a flow to. Then another one is has to do with, after that we can create a screen flow. After we create a welcome message using flow, we say after we create another screen flow that we call quick lead. We can use it to create quick lead, and then we can now make that flow, quick lead flow, to be available at the home page of your end user, so that when they land on their own page, if they need to create a quick flow, they won't need to really go diving into the main lead record. They will create it right on their landing home page, and if they do it immediately, it will be available. It will synchronize with the lead record in their org. When they go to the list view, you will see the lead created today will be added to it at the end of the day. We'll use that one to demonstrate a screen flow.
Right, that's a wrap up for today's video. I hope you have picked up some valuable insights and actionable tips in Salesforce ecosystem. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumb up. If you found it helpful, I'm Asikola Oshirikan, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.